This is the Jason Walker Show. Two-time National Sports Media Association Montana Sportscaster of the Year and three-time loser, the Jason Walker Show. The best local and statewide sports coverage, featuring the biggest guests from Montana.
Flint Rasmussen joining us here on the Jason Walker Show.
He's freaking exhausting, too. You used to dance a lot more. Yeah, I know, lady. I'm 51 years old now.
The NAI Hall of Famer Mike Van Diest joining us here, Jason Walker Show. And is it just a deal where quarterbacks have to be good golfers?
Well, that's all they have time for. They don't work out. They don't lift weight. They don't do anything else. They might as well go get on the golf course and at least have some fun.
And from across the country,
Doug Gottlieb, our guest here on the Jason Walker Show.
End of the day, remember, it's your show. It's got your name on it.
Howie Mandel, our guest here.
Jason Walker, deal or no deal?
the Jason Walker Show.
Hey, what up? Happy Wednesday. Welcome inside the off-the-wall advertising man cave, the Jason Walker Show. Back and ready for you to have some fun. You can watch the show on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. You can listen on Podbean, Network One Sports, iHeart Podcasts, Spotify, Rumble. I mean, you can go anywhere. And really the best place to go is jasonwalkershow.com. You can also check out Continental Divide Radio while you are there, our brand new media venture, our radio station that is the soundtrack of your life and the music of your memories. So check it out. Off the Wall Man Cave. Make sure you get into Off the Wall. Get a hold of Chase and the gang. They can take care of you. All your advertising needs. Proud to be partnered up with them. We're going to soon be in, I think this month we're going to start being, you're going to see us everywhere. In Helena, Missoula, Billings, in the urinals, the bathrooms, TVs, everywhere. It's going to be awesome. Cannot wait. I'm looking forward to working with Off the Wall advertising. Let's see here. Coming up today, we're going to continue our chat about the 3-2-1. Going to continue our chat about the DAV golf tournament coming up next weekend. Kevin Grantier will join us. He has multiple titles and is a big dude, literally and figuratively, with the DAV. So he'll join us coming up in a little bit. Opening segment we like to call the walk-up, and it is brought to you by Montana Custom Log Homes. They are the premier log home company in the industry, 3 distinct divisions, so you can create the log home of your dreams and your budget. Get a hold of Montana Custom Log Homes today, yourcustomlog.com, and get going. Big news out of the Frontier yesterday or last night was that Jamie Pickens will be returning to the Saints and the women's basketball team. That's big news because there was some talk if she was going to come back or not because of the COVID year and all of that. I mean, she was not only the co-player of the year last year in the Frontier Conference with Brindley Fitzgerald out of Montana Western. She's got over 1,350 points, almost 650 career rebounds just at Carroll. Remember, she started with the Lady Grizz. First-team All-American, 2-time honorable mention, 3-time Frontier Conference first team, 2-time Frontier Conference regular season and tournament champ with the team. Carroll 75-17 over the last 3 seasons, thanks to Daniel Shepard from the Helena Independent Record for putting those statistics out. But Jamie Pickens coming back, and that is great news if you're a Carroll women's fan. It is not so good news if you are a fan of any of the other Frontier women's basketball teams. And congratulations to Jamie, and she's going to be awesome. Again, in her second senior season, is that what we call it? See, when I was working at Providence last season, and all these seniors, but some of them are COVID seniors, so they're still seniors, but you can't put COVID senior. It's crazy. That COVID year, man, super nuts. Let's see here. What else did we see? This is really cool. Native Ball, the movie, is going to be released to PBS nationwide this November, and it stars Malia Kipp. And Malia Kipp had a great standout career with the Lady Grizz. I actually ran into Malia down in Billings at the Montana Pro Football Hall of Fame induction. She was there for the Speak Up Symposium for mental health, and what a sweetheart. Great young lady. And cannot wait to get her on the show soon to talk about the movie Native Ball. But again, it's going to be released nationwide on PBS coming up this November. And she's awesome. And I mean, not only what she did in her playing career, but what she did for Native Americans, not only in Montana, but really across the country. And she's got a great story, and she is a fantastic young lady. So that's cool. Native Ball, the movie. Can't wait to watch that coming up in November on PBS. Let's see, other news. Brock Blatter, former Billings Central standout, multi-sport standout, played a year at Alabama out of high school, announced he's going to be transferring to USC this coming year. And 19th round draft pick from the Cubs in 2022. Played travel ball, of course, in high school. Was basketball, football standout at Central for the Rams. Graduated in 22. 6'6". Made 6 appearances in relief for Alabama this past season. Struck out 12 in 8 innings. Had a 4.5 ERA. He's been playing summer ball for Madison, Wisconsin, of the Northwoods League, a collegiate wood bat league. Now, look, Alabama's had all sorts of problems with their baseball team. They fired their coach, Brad Bohannon, back in May with an alleged involvement in betting on a tied baseball game. Assistant coach was named the interim coach. They made it to the Super Regionals. Former Maryland coach Rob Vaughn is the new head coach. But USC is where Blatter will play now, most successful school in NCAA history. 12 national championships, that's a record. It's been a while, though. It's 25 years since they won it all. Andy Stankiewicz, the former Major League Baseball star, will be manager for the second season. And Blatter now is going to be playing for the USC Trojans, a little closer to home than Tuscaloosa, Alabama. For sure. Not easy to get to Alabama from Montana, by the way. When my daughter was at Auburn, it's a trip. Let's see. Kalispell Lakers with a couple of wins over Billings Royals last night. Laurel Dodgers sweeping Billings Cardinals. I think that's A-ball. Scarlets took down Lethbridge. Helena Senators back in action tonight, hosting Missoula at Kendrick. Is it tonight? I think it's tonight. Pretty sure it's tonight. I'm almost positive it's tonight. Yeah, it's tonight. 5 and 7:30. 5 and 7. Senators having a great season. They just went 3 and 2 out in Minnesota. Back home tonight for the doubleheader, 5 and 7:30, and then back home on Saturday for a doubleheader against Great Falls to wrap up conference play. Then a couple of non-conference games Monday and Wednesday of next week before heading off to the state AA tournament, which will be played in Missoula starting next weekend. So good stuff there. Little one continuing her swim lessons. It's a lot of fun. And it's funny because she's shy. And that's not the funny part, but it's funny because she's really shy. So her and a couple other kids, 2 brothers, have been pulled off into a smaller group and working with one of the lifeguards. And I mean, she loves to put her face in the water. She loves to swim, but she won't do it at the lessons. She's been in lessons for a couple of years. She has fun. She loves the water, so, which is cool. And I talked about this yesterday. I am deathly scared of the water. Absolutely scared of the water. I will jet ski and water ski, but I have a life jacket on. And the only way I can be in a boat, typically without freaking out, is if I'm driving it. So, but she is not like that at all. She loves the water. And that's awesome. Maybe she'll be a swimmer. Who knows? Not sure she'll be tall enough to be a swimmer. Those long arms and long legs. And her feet aren't webbed like Michael Phelps. Or his hands. What was his hands? Just giant. Best swimmer of all time. The walk-up brought to you by Montana Custom Log Homes. Veteran-owned, family-owned, woman-owned and operated, over 50 years experience, finest craftsmen available. They have 15 different floor plans. You can go in with your own. You can work with theirs. You can combine them. they'll craft you a home that's built to last for generations. Can't wait to see Art and the family a little bit later this summer. And Art needs to get over here to golf. So a couple of years ago, his daughter Cassie was running for Miss Rodeo Montana, got screwed out of the deal. That's a whole nother story. She and Miss Rodeo Montana is in some serious trouble, which is probably why they haven't contacted me over the last couple of years. But anyway, don't cheat. Anyway, she had a fundraiser and I emceed it, and there was a little auction, and I auctioned off a round of golf with me at Green Meadow, and he bought it, and he still hasn't come over to golf. So Art's got to get over to golf. But can't wait to see him over at Darby for the NRA rodeo coming up in August. That's always a fun time. That was the rodeo last year where I either was an emergency bullfighter and saved the cowboy and broke my thumb in the process, chipped a tooth, scraped up the face, or tripped over a dog named Pendleton trying to give it a hug at the end of the night. So one of those two stories is true, and you can be the judge. By the way, if you ever want to weigh in on anything, you can at JWalker Sports on the Twitter. You can also get a hold of us, Jason at jasonwalkershow.com, and you can email, or that was the email, phone number, 406-209-1267. All right, take a break. We'll come back. When we return, Kevin Grantier is going to join us, talk more about what the DAV does for our veterans and how important it is to help out, and the fun at the golf tournament we're going to have next weekend. That and more, all coming up here on a Wednesday on the Jason Walker Show. We'll continue after this. Hang on.
Strength, beauty, grit, superior craftsmanship. Our homes have it all. At Montana Custom Log Homes, if you can dream it, we can build it. With 3 divisions and over 50 years experience, we've got you covered. From a showcase home to a small cabin, we make your vision a reality. Because every cowboy wants a castle for his queen. Montana Custom Log Homes, crafting homes that last for generations.
Do you love to look at photos of Montana, from animals to landscapes and more? Are you looking for a place to get your senior pictures or family portraits done? Are you a business owner looking to upgrade the decor in your offices? Well, look no further than Mark LaRoe Photography. Mark has been shooting beautiful photos all across the Treasure State, from rodeos to portraits, and would love to work with you. Visit marklaroephotography.com to see many masterpieces of his work, then give him a call to schedule your own photo shoot. Or to purchase one of his fantastic pieces, stop by Spirit of the Big Sky Gallery on Custer in Helena. marklaroephotography.com.
Who doesn't love being number one? When your team's dominating the standings, or your favorite band rocks the charts at number one, it feels good, right? Kind of like how it feels when you have auto insurance with State Farm. Because making you feel like number one is an honor your local State Farm agent takes seriously. Through the good times and not so good, your State Farm agent's proud to be here to help life go right.
Call State Farm agent Mike Miller in Helena today.
There's only one place in Helena to cure your craving for Cajun cuisine, and that is Cafe Zydeco. From po' boys and catfish to jambalaya and much more, Cafe Zydeco has the best Cajun this side of New Orleans. And Cafe Zydeco cares about those that take care of us. Military, law enforcement, first responders can get your drink free as a way of saying thank you to those that protect us every day. If you're looking for a place to grab lunch or dinner, get the flavor of the Big Easy in Big Sky Country at Cafe Zydeco on Euclid in Helena.
Summer, a time to work in the yard and get all those projects that you've been thinking about all winter done. And when you've had enough, go to Lucky Duck Casino and Bar to cool off, relax, laugh a little or a lot, your choice, have a drink and play your favorite games. There's plenty of new games and your old favorites. Now, if you don't want to work hard and the relaxing part sounds the best to you, then just head over to Lucky Duck Casino and Bar on Dredge behind Jade Restaurant. Happy summer, everyone.
Jason Walker here, and if you're like me, some nights are mine to cook at home, and there's only one place that I know I can trust for a quick, easy meal for my family. Dinner's Done Right. When I stop into Dinner's Done Right, I trust that there will be a great selection of food that is healthy and easy to cook, either that night with their ready-to-make dinners, or I can plan for a weekend dinner from their frozen choices. And when I'm out and about in town, I know I can stop in for the grab-and-go salad bar with the freshest ingredients and homemade dressings. For monthly menus and more, visit dinnersdoneright.com.
Store-wide savings are what you'll find when you shop for new home furnishings at Rucker's Furniture. This means tremendous values on Helena's largest in-stock selection of home furnishings. When you shop Rucker's, you'll find store-wide savings on the furniture you want for every room in your home. And you'll also find our selection of Serta iComfort, the most comfortable beds in Helena. 12-month financing is available with approved credit on most purchases over $299. Ask for details. You'll find store-wide savings at Rucker's Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena.
Welcome back to the Jason Walker Show.
Welcome back, Jason Walker Show on a Wednesday. Happy Hump Day. This segment brought to you by Rucker's Furniture. Make the quality choice for your home at Rucker's Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena. Little lover boy working for the weekend. I remember one time, speaking of lover boy, so my friend and I was at TV, he was in radio up in Great Falls, and no, my friends, this is not the other story. This is the story I can tell on the air. But one night during the state fair, we were hanging out at the Sip and Dip, because that's what you do, right? And we ran into, who was it? I can't remember. Oh, Phil Vassar, the singer, Phil Vassar. And so we're talking with Phil, and my friend just out of the blue goes, my buddy and I get up and sing karaoke at the bar every weekend. And Phil Vassar goes, oh, sweet, you guys should come up on stage in my show tomorrow night. So at the end, during the encore, Phil Vassar brings us up on stage. There's 4,000 people or whatever in Four Seasons Arena. And we sang Working for the Weekend and BTO. What's the Bachman Turner song? Oh, now I'm going to have to search for it because I can't remember. Taking Care of Business. That's what it was. So we sang that up on stage with Phil Vassar one night. So just a little history there. Wow. 3, 2, 1. It's Wednesday. We're working for the weekend. Oh, I didn't tell you this over the week. I think I did. Maybe I didn't. We tried to do a camp out over the weekend in the backyard. Set up the tent, wanted the little one to sleep in the backyard just to see if we could go camping. And she was great until it got dark. I mean, she helped set up the tent. She helped put sleeping bags down. I mean, she was all over it. We got snacks. We're hanging out. And then as soon as it got dark, she's like, I want to go back into my bed. So we tried it for 2 nights. I think we're going to try it again this weekend. But we got to get her sleeping in the tent. And we had the dogs in, all 3 dogs. So it's like, we got to get the dogs in there. They'll protect us, sweetie. But trying to get her into camping. So next week, Disabled American Vets Golf Tournament. It is the 8th annual, and it is fantastic. It's 2 days of fun. The reasoning behind it, though, is more important. All the money stays in Montana, and it goes to helping our disabled American vets because they need our help. They've been ignored way too long. Talked about my brother and my son both being military. I have a cousin that's went to military, an uncle that was in the military. My grandpa, of course, I've talked about this, but that is him. I think in Germany, or maybe back stateside, but with General MacArthur, the picture, if you're watching this, in his hospital bed after he had his hip shot in Korea. And he was a member of the DAV as well. And the Disabled American Vets, the people behind it, get the vets everything they need when they need it. And one of those guys, he's got 12 different titles. So I'll let him introduce himself. But Kevin Grantier joins us on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline on the Jason Walker Show. All right, sitting here with Kevin Grantier. And Kevin, first off, thanks for stopping in. I appreciate you guys coming by. I've been involved with this tournament. I've played in it for the last 7 years. This will be 8. Sponsored it the last couple years. This is such a big tournament. But explain exactly what you do with the DAV.
I hold a lot of positions with the DAV. First of all, I was a National Service Officer for 21 years as an employee for the DAV, retired in 2017. I've been the department commander here in Montana twice. I currently hold the office of National Executive Committeeman for District 14, which includes Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, and Minnesota. I'm also the Senior Vice Commander for the department. At the chapter level, I am the Adjutant and Service Officer. So I'm quite busy with the DAV.
Well, I was going to say, how do you remember all of that? Because it's like, I just need one title, Kevin. How important is the DAV to you personally? Were you military?
Yes. I am a life member of the DAV, and I will always be involved with the DAV because the DAV saved my life. When I got out of the military, just like everybody else, filed my claim with the VA. It didn't go well. And my uncle, thank God, told me, he says, get the DAV. And I got the DAV, and they changed my life. And I am indebted to them, and I will help them for the rest of my life.
What branch were you?
I was Air Force.
Air Force, okay. Mm-hmm. So we got Chase, who was Marines and Army and Air Force.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did you fly?
No. I was munitions and EOD.
Okay. Oh, yeah. So yeah. I understand. That's awesome. So the DAV helped, really saved you, is what you said.
Yes.
And the DAV over the years has saved so many veterans. I mean, the numbers, they're too high to count, and they're probably too high that we should be counting them. You know what I'm saying? We need to help more with the veterans. And people can do that in a multitude of ways. And the golf tournament is just one way. That's the 2 days of fun. But there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes every day of the year.
Of course, Montana is probably known with DAV in our transportation network. Everybody sees our vans going up and down the highway. We hold one of the biggest transportation networks in the country, driving over 1 million miles every year, transporting thousands of veterans to their VA appointments. And thank God for our volunteers who put in the endless hours to get those people there. But behind the scenes, as you said, that takes a lot of money because we have to purchase those vans. And the vans right now are running anywhere $35,000 a piece. So even though we're making a lot of money on these golf tournaments, this year, for example, we had to replace 6 vans. And so the $115,000 we made last year is gone. Right. And so unfortunately, it's an upkeep to get all our Montana veterans in 4th biggest state in the country to all these appointments they desperately need to get to.
And when I talked with Chase, it wasn't Chase Natalie. It wasn't just the golf tournament. I mean, you guys are out there raising funds every day of the year because you have to.
Yes, we do with the local chapter. For an example, we put on Lewis and Clark Chapter 3 right here in Helena. I'm from Lincoln, so we do a snowmobile fun run up in Lincoln with the DAV. We do an ATV run up there. We're getting ready to do our first annual motorcycle fun run. So we constantly are out there doing this because not only do we have the major expenses like the vans and stuff, we have other things that we do. We help veterans when they call and need help. Power blew out my appliances, I need some kind of help. We're there to help them for that as well. So there's a constant income drain coming in, so we're constantly out there trying to replenish that to help people.
Working with the government, What's that like from the local area perspective?
It's when I was a national service officer, essentially what you're doing is every day you're fighting the federal government. You have your veteran that you're representing from the day you file a claim all the way through the appeal process to the Board of Veterans Appeals. Just like an attorney, we are actually attorneys. In fact, we can do VA law, and that's it. And it's no different than anybody. It's suing the government. It's pretty much, they don't ever say that's what you're doing, but essentially that's what you're suing. You're saying, listen, Uncle Sam, when I worked for you, I got injured, and now I want medical and compensation for it, and so you have to go get it. They don't just hand it over.
Right.
It's a tough racket to be in.
And you're the guy that people come to. You're the big guy in the area for 4 different states, like you said. So, I mean, you're not dealing just with Montana lawmakers. You're dealing with North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota, and the national level.
Right. And not only are you dealing with the federal government, the VA on the federal government, but then you're dealing with each state's government. You're trying to get benefits for veterans in that state. Montana, if you're 100% disabled, you get 2 free license plates. You get reduction on property taxes. So there's state benefits as well, and each state is different. And sometimes when you're out there, you'll see a great benefit a state is doing, try to get it back here. I mean, when I first came back to Montana, they would only give 1 plate. And I said, how many families only have 1 vehicle?
Yeah.
So I got with the local senator here in Helena, and we got that law changed and got 2 plates. People on individual unemployability, which is essentially 100%. It's not what they call a scheduler 100%, meaning your disabilities combined to 100%, but it's still considered 100%. Well, we had to get the law changed like that because Montana wouldn't recognize individual unemployability as 100%, but the federal government does, right?
So how frustrating is it to know that, I mean, we have thousands of veterans across the country not getting the help they deserve, not getting the benefits they deserve?
Well, it's very emotional for me because I was there. Mm-hmm. I was that guy, right? And so when you get fire in the belly, you go after it. And it is frustrating. It is frustrating because so many people have tried on their own, and they run into the behemoth of the federal government, and they just give up. I can't tell you how many times in my 21-year career as a national service officer that I ran into people that had tried and failed, so they just gave up. And I said, no. And they would tell me their story, and I'm like, well, here's where we got to do something different. Here's where the mistake was made. Here's how we can fix it. And, it's really hard to coax them to go back into this marathon that they know they're getting in when they file their claim. And it's very sad that so many people got just returned and rejected. You probably heard of the Blue Water Agent Orange that was recently enacted. Hundreds of thousands of claims are now coming back in the system.
Wow.
Because they were all denied originally. So
I never served. My brother served 8 years in the Navy. My son's currently in the Army, 5 years now. But it's frustrating when you see the guys and gals that come back and don't get the help they need because the government is saying, well, no, you already helped us, so we're done with you now.
Yeah.
And that's the way I look at it. It's frustrating that way.
Right. And if you talk with people in the civilian sector that have worked for somebody and had it injured at work, and they go through the workman's comp claim, they get a taste of what it's like to be a veteran, right? I think we all know somebody who we heard that horror story through, right? So it's kind of the same way. And it's ridiculous that men and women have to go in, put their lives on the line. They're literally writing a blank check to the U.S. government to include my life. I'm willing to pay this. And they come back and they have to essentially sue the federal government to get the benefits they were promised at the beginning. It's just ridiculous.
It really is. I mean, you signed a contract. Right. Yeah. I mean, that's essentially what it is. Kevin Grantier joining us here in the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline Studios. You guys do a lot, as we've talked about, but the golf tournament's a lot of fun. It's 2 days, like I said earlier, to just kind of let loose, and we all know why we're playing golf. We all know what those 2 days are about. It means something more than just winning a golf tournament, but it still is 2 days for guys in the DAV and gals in the DAV to just be there and say, okay, this is awesome.
Yeah, we so we're pleasured and we're honored to have the national commander, the DAV national commander here. We have the assistant national service director coming out. We have the judge, national inspector general coming out, the DAV. The recently retired former national director of employment that ran all our employment, he's coming out. And they're just coming out because we've been telling national about our success in this golf tournament, and it's just ran like wildfire across the country. We had developed an SOP for other departments and chapters, because when we tell them the money we're raising out here, and that money is not raised without the great help of the Montana people. Yeah. Montana is such a veteran, service-oriented country and state, and that 1 in every 8 people on the street is a veteran. And just walk around one day and count. There's 8, there's 1, and there's 8, there's another one. By the end of the day, when you've done all your shopping and stuff, and you come home, you would have seen a lot of veterans out on the street. So
this golf tournament, I played in it. Like I said, I sponsored it the last couple of years. Got involved, but it's a well-oiled machine. It runs so smooth, and when you look at the money raised from the first year was a 1-day tournament. The next year immediately had to go to 2-day tournament because people wanted to be a part of this and playing it. Now we're on our year 8 coming up this summer. It's turned into its own monster. It's in the last 3 years, it has jumped so big. As I'm sure Chase probably, we open up the internet and our website for people to join to get in. 2 hours and it's full, right? I mean, people literally go home, they know it's the 3rd weekend in July, and they put it on their calendar. I'm in for next year, and it's such a great thing. And the community, people are coming, businesses are coming. They've heard about it the last few years, and then how can I get involved? Well, we really need a sponsor for this, because without that sponsor, that money comes out what is being taken out of what we make, right? And people are like, well, how much is that? It's whatever the amount. They're writing a check. Here you go. So at the beginning, we had to pay out so much to cover the expenses. And now people are just being our sponsors, and hey, I'm going to take care of this, and I'm going to take care of that. And so now at the end of the year, especially these last 2 or 3 years, it's all income. There's very little expense going out. And as you know, nobody that's working with this is making any money. Right. We're all doing it for free. We're all volunteers. And plus we have, 30, 40 volunteers that are non-veterans that are helping us too. And if it wasn't for them, we couldn't get through this tournament. No, it's an absolutely wonderful tournament, and the growth. I mean, you go from I think $19,000 the first year it was put on to last year over $120,000, and it's just going to get bigger this year. Yeah. And I mean, that money goes directly to vets. It stays in the state of Montana. Yep. It's important to be a part of this. What would you say to somebody who hasn't signed up with the DAV to be a volunteer or sponsor or to donate? I mean, there's a lot of worthy causes out there that involve the military. Why the DAV? Well, the DAV takes care of the heroes that allow you to live in a free country, to allow you to select your own religion, to allow you to speak your own language, to allow you to live and do what you want to do with nobody telling you what you have to do. Those men and women are out there every day securing your freedom, and we need to take care of them. We need to take care of them because
I was in 10 years before I got medically discharged out, okay? And there's a lot of people that do 20, and there's a lot of people do 30, but there's not a one of them that didn't get banged up in some way. You know, I'm not saying everybody got shot. I'm not saying this and that, but there's things that happen to them in a 10, 20-year period, okay? We've all had things at work or on our way to work or coming back from work, you know, hey, I was going to work and I slipped on the ice and broke my leg. Well, if you're in the military, if you're on your way to work, you're still in the military. Yeah. So it's still part of the job. So these men and women need our help. And when they come back, especially and I don't want to pick on anybody or point them out, but just think about it. If you come back with post-traumatic stress disorder or traumatic brain injury, you're not thinking straight to begin with. So how can you run a gauntlet and sue the federal government for the benefits that you deserve? It's impossible, and that's why they fail. That's why they give up. They need to get a representative, get the DAV to represent them and take care of it for them.
What's your favorite story? And favorite sounds kind of weird to say, but your favorite story of someone you've helped?
There was this, when I was in Oklahoma, when I first joined the DAV, they asked me to go to Muskogee, Oklahoma. And I went down there and we had this deal. There was a change in laws. We had to go back and look at all these cases that the Board of Veterans Appeals had looked at once before. And so there was this case, and I was looking at it, and this veteran went in to a VA medical center for a surgery, and I don't remember what the surgery was for. But anyway, right after the surgery, not long after the surgery, he died. And it was kind of like they knew the VA had screwed up the surgery. They kind of knew that the VA essentially had killed him, malpracticed him, and this and that. But there was a time limit to file, and the widow missed that time deal, and the veteran didn't file. And so when I kept reading, and she went before the Board of Veterans Appeals several times, and when I was reading the law case in there, you could almost read into it. I mean, they don't write that way. Of course, they're attorney. They write like judges and attorneys. But when you could read into it, they were listen, we know what happened. We're sorry, but the claim wasn't filed in a timely manner, and we can't do it. So I was going through that. Well, this is way back in the 70s, and I'm trying to make a long story short, but in the file, they used to have, they weren't called counselors, but they were like nurses that they would check on you. How's your food? How's this and this and this? And there was this little note in there, and she said, well, how'd your surgery go? And this was a couple of days after the surgery, just before he was getting discharged. And he goes, I think they hurt me. I think they hurt me real bad. And I took that and I said, that is a claim. That veteran is making a claim. He thinks the VA did what they call 1151 or malpractice, And I ran it up, and sure enough, the VA said, yeah, you're right. And it was missed all these years. Wow. Missed all these years. So, I didn't tell the widow. I just ran it up and filed the claim and got it approved. And it happened to be Veterans Day. And I came in the office. We were closed, federal holiday. We were closed, but I came in and I called her. And boy, I told her who I was. I'm Kevin Grantier with the DAV. And she just lit into me. She really started chewing me up, down one the eye. You guys didn't win anything. You didn't do anything for me. And she was just going, and I'm like trying to interrupt, and she wouldn't. And then she told me, I got this house and I got to live in one room because the roof's leaking and all the others. And, it was a terrible story. And finally she started crying. And that was the only time that I could get in. And I said, ma'am, I kind of reintroduced myself. And I said, listen, we went back and looked through your late husband's claim and we found a mistake. I filed a claim. You've been granted what they call dependency indemnity compensation, so she'd be taken care of. Anyway, it was almost $400,000 retro. And so they wanted to do the big fake check deal. So we set up a date for her to come up, and the director of the VA himself was going to present the check and the whole 9 yards. So about a day or two before, I get this call, and it's Joe Smith Cadillac in Oklahoma City or something, and he's saying, hey, this lady's telling me she's getting all this money, and I just want to make sure. Well, privacy, you really can't say anything. I'm like, the check will be good. That's all I can tell you, right? So she shows up the day to collect and do the thing. She shows up in this brand new gold Cadillac, and that gal hugged on me for like a half hour. But it changed her whole life.
Oh yeah.
And that's what DAV does. We change people's lives. People that are getting pennies on the dollar for their benefits, and then we say, well, you should have filed for this, and you should have done this and this and this, and then they go from pennies to thousands of dollars, what they should have been getting from the first place.
Man, that is awesome. Well, I've been behind the DAVs for 8 years now, and I love the work you guys do. And I know I don't do a lot with this little show, but appreciate your guys' work for sure.
Well, thank you for having us on. We appreciate it, and we'd love to see you on the golf course. And I'll introduce you to all the big wigs that are flying in, and they're all great people. I've known them all, and in fact, the Rob Luigi, who is the recent retired director of employment, he's the guy that hired me.
Oh wow, okay.
Because I came in there and he seen the work I was doing on my own claim, and he's like, you want a job? 21 years later, yeah.
Well, you've done a great job, not only for yourself, but obviously for hundreds of veterans and their families, so appreciate that.
You bet. Glad to see everybody out there. Come out and enjoy it, and if nothing else, just come out and meet some heroes. Shake hands, and we'll probably have a donation jar out there somewhere. So.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah. It's all for a good cause, though, so hey, appreciate you coming in.
All right, thank you, sir.
That is Kevin Grantier, interview we taped yesterday, but man, DAV means a lot, not only to him, but to many, many people across this country and right here in the state of Montana. And the work that they do for our vets, it's amazing. We'll take a break. We'll come back. This segment brought to you by Rucker's Furniture. And when we return, we'll have On This Day in History, the walk-off, and much more still to come here. Jason Walker Show. Stick around.
Store-wide savings are what you'll find when you shop for new home furnishings at Rucker's Furniture. This means tremendous values on Helena's largest in-stock selection of home furnishings. When you shop Rucker's, you'll find store-wide savings on the furniture you want for every room in your home. And you'll also find our selection of Serta iComfort, the most comfortable beds in Helena. 12-month financing is available with approved credit on most purchases over $289. Ask for details. You'll find store-wide savings at Rucker's Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena.
If you are truly looking to get away for a weekend, let Auto Concepts get you started. Introducing the Overlander camping setup. The tent fits right on top of your truck, sleeps 3, and features an LED light bar and USB connections. It's easy to travel with and pack up to get you away from everyone and up off the ground. Auto Concepts also will get your rig detailed to look good for the summer to make sure your vehicle looks sharp inside and out. Auto Concepts does window tinting, lift kits, cattle guards, and more. Everything your vehicle needs. Auto Concepts, the auto enhancement professionals.
Strength, beauty, grit, superior craftsmanship. Our homes have it all. At Montana Custom Log Homes, if you can dream it, we can build it. With 3 divisions and over 50 years experience, we've got you covered. From a showcase home to a small cabin, we make your vision a reality. Because every cowboy wants a castle for his queen. Montana Custom Log Homes, crafting homes that last for generations.
There's only one place in Helena to cure your craving for Cajun cuisine, and that is Cafe Zydeco. From po' boys and catfish to jambalaya and much more, Cafe Zydeco has the best Cajun this side of New Orleans. And Cafe Zydeco cares about those that take care of us. Military, law enforcement, first responders can get your drink free as a way of saying thank you to those that protect us every day. If you're looking for a place to grab lunch or dinner, get the flavor of the Big Easy in Big Sky Country at Cafe Zydeco on Euclid in Helena.
doesn't love being number one? When your team's dominating the standings, or your favorite band rocks the charts at number one? It feels good, right? Kind of like how it feels when you have auto insurance with State Farm. Because making you feel like number one is an honor your local State Farm agent takes seriously. Through the good times and not so good, your State Farm agent's proud to be here to help life go right.
Call State Farm agent Mike Miller in Helena today. Do you love to look at photos of Montana, from animals to landscapes and more? Are you looking for a place to get your senior pictures or family portraits done? Are you a business owner looking to upgrade the decor in your offices? Well, look no further than Mark LaRoe Photography. Mark has been shooting beautiful photos all across the Treasure State, from rodeos to portraits, and would love to work with you. Visit marklaroephotography.com to see many masterpieces of his work, then give him a call to schedule your own photo shoot. Or to purchase one of his fantastic pieces, stop by Spirit of the Big Sky Gallery on Custer in Helena. marklaroephotography.com.
Jason Walker here, and if you're like me, some nights are mine to cook at home, and there's only one place that I know I can trust for a quick, easy meal for my family. Dinner's Done Right. When I stop into Dinner's Done Right, I trust that there will be a great selection of food that is healthy and easy to cook, either that night with their ready-to-make dinners, or I can plan for a weekend dinner from their frozen choices. And when I'm out and about in town, I know I can stop in for the grab-and-go salad bar with the freshest ingredients and homemade dressings. For monthly menus and more, visit dinnersdoneright.com.
Ah, summer. A time to work in the yard and get all those projects that you've been thinking about all winter done. And when you've had enough, go to Lucky Duck Casino and Bar to cool off, relax, laugh a little, or a lot, your choice. Have a drink and play your favorite games. There's plenty of new games and your old favorites. Now, if you don't want to work hard and the relaxing part sounds the best to you, then just head over to Lucky Duck Casino and Bar on Dredge behind Jade Restaurant. Happy summer, everyone.
This is the Jason Walker Show.
In the rain, with his head hung low, couldn't get a ticket. It was a sold-out show. Heard the roar of the crowd. He could picture the scene. Put his ear to the wall, then like a distant scream, he heard one guitar.
Jason Walker Show, the segment brought to you by Bowser's Lucky Dog Casino. Great machines, cold drinks, tremendous staff. I love this song. Guitar riff, man. Oh, Foreigner on a Wednesday. Oh. On the way on this day in history, got the walk-off and more coming up. Saw yesterday, I guess, tonight for the Helena Senators game, the doubleheader against Missoula. It is going to be the second annual Jim Knight Memorial Award game, presented in honor of Jim Knight, longtime Helena umpire for softball, Legion, Pioneer League, Frontier. Son Brian, of course, what is he, in his 13th year in the majors as an umpire? But tonight they'll be given that award, the Jim Knight Night. And the award goes to the player that demonstrates integrity, sportsmanship, character, and Jim's passion for the game of baseball. Last year it was Tyler Tenney that won it. The Helena umpire pool votes on this award and gives it to one of the players. So very, very cool. Very cool. Let's see here. We miss anything yet? I don't think so. Talked about the Legion. Kid from Billings Mustangs, Wyatt Crenshaw, drafted by the Arizona Diamondbacks over the weekend. Let's see, what else? MSUB's got a new indoor golf practice facility. That's cool. Cost of over $50,000. And full turf space. First floor of the PE building on campus. Now both teams can practice year-round, which is pretty cool. So I'm trying to convince the wife to let me put a simulator in the garage, but she has to park her car in there. But that way, I practice all year. Right? And then the little one can practice all year. Because she's going to go to college on a golf scholarship. I just feel it. There's a lot of money in women's golf for college that's just left on the table for scholarships. So if you got a little girl, get her into golf. Boys too, but get the little girls into golf. Love taking her with me on the course, letting her putt around on the green, literally putt around. And she likes to drive, of course, the cart. She calls it Spirit the Zoom Zoom. Spirit the horse, the animated series Spirit. Not the movie. This movie was okay, but the series is fantastic. Let's see here. Let's do On This Day in History. It is July the 12th, 2023, a Wednesday. It is Pecan Pie Day. And is it pecan or pecan? It is National Different Colored Eyes Day. My son has different colored eyes, and it's been this way since he was born. One is brown. The other is like brown and gray, and it's weird, but it's cool. Each are Jello Day and Paper Bag Day. On this date, 1901, Cy Young won his 300th game, would go on to win a Major League record 511. That will never be touched. First tennis match televised on this date, 1928. Bobby Jones won a record-tying fourth U.S. Open on this date in 1930, and it was his third consecutive major. 1931 on this date, over 45,000 fans crammed 35,000-seat Sportsman's Park in St. Louis, caused a lot of ground rule doubles. A total of a doubleheader of 32 ground rule doubles. 1951, Allie Reynolds of the Yankees throws a no-hitter in Cleveland. NBC uses cameras 1959 to show catcher signals for the first time. 1964, U.S. Women's Open, Mickey Wright wins her fourth. 1970, at the British Open at St. Andrews, Jack Nicklaus. Oi, St. Andrews, the Scottish. Jack beats Doug Sanders by a stroke in the event's first ever 18-hole playoff to win the second of 3 Open championships. 1975, British Open at Carnoustie. Tom Watson wins in an 18-hole playoff over by 1 stroke. First of his 8 majors and first of his 5 Opens. Tonight was the night in 1979, Comiskey Park. They had Disco Demolition Night in between doubleheader games. Fans destroyed disco records. They ended up destroying the field. The White Sox had to forfeit the second game to the Detroit Tigers. 1990 on this date, White Sox pitcher Melito Perez with a no-hitter in a rain-shortened 6-inning game. It was the 7th no-hitter of 1990. Happy birthday, Cheryl Ladd, born on this date in 1951, Charlie's Angel. Huron, South Dakota. What is about South Dakota? You got Kristi Noem, the governor, beautiful. Cheryl Ladd, beautiful. We're going to butcher this name, but it is the birthday of Ludmila Pavlichenko, born on this date in 1916 in the Ukraine. Soviet sniper during World War II known as Lady Death has the most sniper kills and female sniper kills in history with 309 confirmed kills. That's a lot. Let's do this.
We're almost at the end of the show. What did we learn? And what did he miss? Time for the walk-off.
The walk-off presented by Cafe Zydeco, where the Big Easy meets the Big Sky. Make sure you stop in for the best Cajun this side of New Orleans. And, man, did not go last night, but definitely going to pick up some tonight on the way home from picking up the little one. It is the best place to go to get Cajun. Unbelievable. So good. Po' boys, beignets. And beignets all day long. And it's not just a breakfast food. The jambalaya is amazing. Pasta Zydeco is one of my favorite dishes. It's fantastic. So Stop in Cafe Zydeco. What did we learn today? We learned that Jamie Pickens is going to be back with the Carroll College women's basketball team for another senior year. Also returning, Erica Nesson and Maddie Garretts. Maddie had her best year as a Saint last season. So that's good news for Rochelle Sayers and the crew over there. Thanks to Kevin Grantier for joining us, talking about the DAV, the golf tournament next week, and more about what the DAV does. Tomorrow, we'll wrap up our DAV week-long coverage with Chase Natalie. He'll join us. Looking forward to that. If you missed anything, go to jasonwalkershow.com. You can also check out Continental Divide Radio while you're there. I highly recommend it. We'll see you back here tomorrow for another edition of the Jason Walker Show. Almost award-winning. 50 states, 55 countries. Appreciate you. Appreciate our sponsors as well. We'll see you tomorrow.
The Jason Walker Show is produced by the Jason Walker Media Company. Any reuse, rebroadcast, or retransmission without the express written consent of the Jason Walker Show is strictly prohibited. Just listen, watch, and enjoy.